This is a great dress.
I can just imagine this being worn in the 20s.
I would never have thought it that much.
I didn't expect that much.
It's me.
This really is the most unspeakably smart dress, isn't it wonderful?
Isn't it just
Who
beautiful?
wore it?
My wife, and before her, her mother-in-law.
Oh, brilliant. Proper family treasure.
Yes, indeed.
Looks like the Odeon Cinema on the front there, doesn't it? Exactly
Gorgeous,
the same
yes.
date that all the cinemas were put in.
That's really what dates it, isn't it?
It is, it
Yeah.
is. Very deco, very chic. I think you ought to insure it for somewhere around about £300.
Really?
Yes.
Goodness me, I would never have thought it that much, but very nice to know. I don't think it's likely to go out of the family, though.
I'm sure it's not. I wouldn't let it go if it was mine.
No, not at all.
Well, they say three's a crowd, but this is really quite a crowd. There's you, me, and Vivienne Westwood.
Indeed, yes.
I'm just going to do something very rude. I'm just going to check that we have... Oh, we do have the label. That's all right. That's good. This is a great dress. Tell me where you got it.
I actually bought it, or my husband bought it, I should say. I'd seen it in a magazine spread and absolutely fell in love with it. And we just happened to be up in London. This was 14 years ago. And I just happened to guide him down the King's Road towards the World's End.
I do that to my husband sometimes. It works.
It did, and it also happened to be my birthday, so it happened. It's great.
How could he possibly resist?
Absolutely.
And it looks terrific, I have to say. You know, even now, 14 years on, there's something about Westwood designs that have this sort of classic feel to them. And of course, there is this year a retrospective of Westwood at the V&A Museum.
Yes.
Have you been to...
I have. I did go and see it
did
because
you?
I love her clothes.
Yes.
I have to say, I don't own any other Westwood. I wish I did, but I don't, or anybody else come to that matter. But I was delighted to see the dress in the exhibition. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Vivienne Westwood, she's an icon, really, in late 20th century design. She and Malcolm McLaren created punk rock with their shop in the King's Road called Sex. And out of that came this wonderful, extraordinary passion for design and a very quirky and a very English type of design. What did you pay for it? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Am I allowed?
We were trying to remember. Yeah, it was about £250.
I can believe that. I have to say, today I would have thought we're talking about sort of 300, 400. So, I mean, it hasn't shot up in value.
No.
But the great thing is, unlike almost anything else that you buy and wear, it hasn't gone down in value.
True.
You know, it's not worth nothing.
Yes.
So, are you going to continue wearing it?
Oh, yes. I mean, I love it, and I would never sell it anyway because it's just, I don't know, I just adore it, and I love wheeling it out every now and again.
Fantastic. Well, I hope you and Viv have a great future together.
Thanks very much.
I've got to do this.
Oh, I see.
I can just imagine this being worn in the 20s. Have you ever worn it? You're not old enough, but
No, I
have you
haven't
ever worn it
it
recently?
No.
How did you come to have it?
I bought it at a local auction about 2 or 3 years ago in the local auction in Dalgatllai, and I just liked it.
It's such an unusual colour, isn't it?
It certainly is.
What is so lovely about this era is that the 1920s was, if you like, modernisation of woman.
Yes.
Emancipation. They threw away their corsets. They were free.
Free.
I love the stylised,
It's glorious, isn't it?
if you like, bows. They're like bows. They're not
They
flowers,
certainly
are they? So I think it could have been made in England. I don't think it's French. It's difficult because there's no label inside.
No.
So it has a lining, but the outside is muslin. It's very fragile and very heavy with all these beads. It just lends itself to the dance, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Now, at the bottom, I had to look twice because I thought, hang on, it doesn't quite the right length. Now, the 20s were the short length.
Yes.
And then suddenly, by the time we got to the 1930s, it was much longer. And so someone has put that on so they can go on wearing it. How do you keep it at home?
I lay it, I've got it on a layer of acid-free tissue, and I keep it flat because I think to hang it would be, the weight of the beads would
with
drag
gravity,
it.
And I think
In fact,
you're
I'm
right.
hoping you can give me some advice on that.
Well, the advice is I think you're doing absolutely the right thing. You want to protect it from moth.
Yes.
Acid-free paper obviously is the right thing. Now, what did you pay for it?
£50.
You have done well. That's fantastic. Well, you've obviously got a good eye. In the right sale, probably in London, we are talking about somewhere between £500 and £800.
I didn't expect that much.
That's a pretty good return compared with stocks and shares, isn't it?
Because it was the end of the war, they couldn't get the fabric they wanted to make a coat. So all the ladies gave some material and designed it and sewed it up themselves.
So the way they've done it is they've done it as if it were a patchwork quilt.
That's right.
So they would have done it round a template.
Yes.
Joined it up in the patterns, just using up bits of material that they would have had in their bottom drawer.
As you can see, some of the red is crepe de chine. You just wouldn't get that these days.
So do you reckon they were using old dresses as well?
Yes, some of it was old dresses. And the white, some of the white was a lady's wedding dress.
Really? Well, that was a great sacrifice.
That's right.
But why do you think it was made? Let's have a look at the back. Why do you think, was it made for a special occasion, do you know?
It was their best coat to wear for great festivals like Christmas or Easter. I wear it when I'm doing baptisms or doing a wedding. I have to be a bit careful when I'm doing a wedding because it is so beautiful. I find if I'm not careful, I tend to upstage the bride when I sweep in with this.
Well, it's not the sort of thing that we very often get on the roadshow. Needless to say, as far as a value is concerned, it's irrelevant. I'm not saying it doesn't have a value, but it has a wonderful social story, and that's the value to you and I.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm very lucky because I rescued them from a dustbin.
You didn't?
I did, yes. I studied at an art school, and when I was working at a studio that did painting for costumes and films, they were throwing them out. So I said, may I have them, please? And I've had them for 40-odd years.
This one, for instance, this is by Roger Furze, who was a superb draftsman. This is for Lady Hadley and Woman Hater, Edith Evans. Wonderful. It's for me, it's a drawing in itself with a watercolour on top. It's obviously meant to be exactly how they were going to clothe her, and all these, what she had to wear underneath, and wearing a sable, and there's her sable. Wonderful. It even looks like her, and it's only meant to be for the costume, isn't it? Now this is another well-known costume designer called Berkeley Sutcliffe. Now Myra Lister, this is another one. We don't know exactly what this was going to be.
I think it was sweetest and lowest.
I love the pinched-in waist. It's wonderful. I think this fashion ought to come back, don't you?
It's very much a fashion of the 40s, isn't it?
Very much, very much.
Sort of like fashion plates.
And beautifully executed. So that is very fragile. I'm going to just... It's amazing they didn't sort of scrunch it up to throw it away.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yes, so am I. This is a splendid one. Look at this.
This is Hermione Gingold.
Hermione Gingold holding what is meant to be, I suppose, a Venetian mask in front. And look at the eyelashes. Aren't they wonderful? Again by Berkeley Sutcliffe. This is Sweetest and Lowest, so obviously Myra Lister and Hermione Gingold, both in the same production. Absolutely wonderful.
Again, very decorative.
Very decorative. And I think in a way the value lies in that. The Roger Furze was almost more collectible than any of the others. So the Roger Furze one, we're talking about maybe £200. This one, because it's Hermione Gingold, there's a great following of her, and collectors will probably pay somewhere around 100, 150, possibly up to 200 for this one. But you've got a huge collection there. This is the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
So together, if you really work out on an average of 100 to 250, I think you must have probably £5,000 worth there.
I think probably, yes. Thank you. I've got a lot more actually at home.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But this one is, I think, probably one of the nicest.
Yes, I think so too. Wonderful.
They were done by my grandmother in the 19-teens and 1920s.
I mean, they are extraordinary. Here's a bathing costume here. Put that on there. And lovely dresses here. I mean, there must be about sort of 50 or 60 dresses.
Yeah. I remember as a child that I was allowed to play with them on high days and holidays.
Yes.
And that I've always treasured them, and they were given to me when I was a teenager.
Yes. Well, I mean, she must have worked very hard because they are quite sophisticated, and they're all hand-drawn, and they're all coloured in with watercolour.
She went to an art school in London and then became a dress designer apparently for somebody called Raymond somebody who
Raymond sounds terribly sort of French, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's male or female, but that's all I know. And really, I wanted to find out how I can find out more about fashion in the 1920s and whether she really did design anything that was worthwhile.
I think you'd obviously have to go to a fashion museum or a fashion design museum. You could go to the clothing museum in Bath,
oh, right.
I suspect, and see what literature they've got and whether, in fact, they can trace him back or her back.
Right.
But I think all of these are obviously good designs. This one's rather interesting because this one comes, it's almost contemporary, isn't it? You know, sort of very much off the shoulders, but also with the contemporary tattoo.
Yes.
Really, very contemporary, I think. And this one here, my goodness, you could hardly, it's hardly decent.
No, well, she was a bit of a girl, I think, in her day.
Right.
The roaring 20s and all that.
Absolutely roaring 20s. And of these, you've got, what, I suppose about another 50
I think so, yes.
set of drawings.
Yeah.
So a fabulous collection of costume design of the 1920s. Has to be worth, these 50 have to be worth somewhere in the region. Very hard to value, but I would have thought between £500 and £1,000.
It's me.